So, welcome back to another episode. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the time has come. The time has come. Probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago now, I personally did an episode called Games I Hate. And I talked about some funny stories when I was a kid buying Dynamite Ducks and Double Dungeons and...
Are you crazy? I love those games.
I described all the funny things that happened and how Double Dungeons is still holding up the shelf behind here. So
You mean it's actually good for something?
it's good for something. It's good for holding up a shelf with books. That's why that shelf will never fall down. But today we actually want to do an episode together on games we hate. And the funny thing is, we started the Happy Console Gamer Show because there's so many, games that we love, and we talk about all the stuff that we love. But people are like, man, you guys love everything. No, we don't.
Okay, now look, we're happy people. We're happy, shiny people. Most of the time.
There's been many times.
There are times when you feel you've been bent over the table and violated by a game company. When you walk funny for a week because of a game you expected to be amazing that, oh God, like the smell of a hooker that's been left in a trunk dead for a year.
Exactly.
That kind of a that smell. That smell.
Bring up your first game of
My
games you
first
hate.
game. I will bring it. And I don't want to get people yelling at me about this, but I'm sorry. Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance.
What? Why would you say Sword of Mana? It's a Mana series game. Why would you do that?
Oh, I'll tell you why I would do that, and it's going to be real straightforward and simple. Sword of Mana was hyped and advertised as being the perfect follow-up to Secret of Mana on the Super NES.
Never heard of
Many
it.
of you will remember was multiple players.
Multiple players.
You could have 2 to 3 players.
Yeah, 3 players, yeah.
Okay, and they promised that this game that had 2 protagonists would be a 2-player game using the link cable for the Game Boy Advance.
Part of their advertisement.
Absolutely part of their advertising, and it even says on the back, multiplayer games require 1 game pack per player and a Game Boy Advance link cable sold separately.
Okay.
Multiplayer game.
It says it on there.
Right there. Okay. So what happens? My wife and I each buy a copy, and we're excited. We love Secret of Mana.
The day it comes out, right?
The day it came out, launch day, we bought it. We brought it home. We hooked up the link cables. We both picked separate characters. We started playing. And I thought, okay, well, when the characters meet up, which would make sense, then the game continues together. Wrong! What did they do? No, all you can do is upload the data from another character into your game, and if you need help, you push a button and they go bink out the top of the screen onto an enemy's head.
So not true multiplayer, more download somebody else's character and they'll show up and fight.
They don't even fight. They literally bounce off of an enemy's head and then off the camera again. That's it. They don't show up and fight. They just bing, gone.
Did we misunderstand this?
No, they at the last minute found it was too difficult and took it out, but didn't tell anyone.
Oh, so still.
It was never multiplayer. The entire premise of why I bought this game was a lie. They never put it in, and that's why I hate Sword of Mana for the Game Boy Advance, because it's not what they said it was. Is it a fun action RPG? It's not bad. I mean, honestly, it's no Secret of Mana, but it's okay. But the blatant fact that they promised multiplayer and did not deliver makes this a game I hate.
I remember that. I remember you were really mad about that.
Oh, I'm still mad about it, but no one can tell, can they?
Okay. I will bring one up, and this is funny because I had to put it in to capture footage for this. And I made Rob do it because I wanted another person's reaction to see if I was completely crazy. No. My game is Unlimited Saga by Square Enix.
I just threw up in my mouth a little, sorry.
How could you, Square Enix, such a good name for a company back in the day on the PS2.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but back in the PS2 days, you couldn't really go wrong. Well, you could. And what happened is, I rented this game. I didn't go and buy it. Maybe that was a good thing, too.
Oh, it was a good thing.
I rented it and I put it in, and the game starts off, and I'm going, what is this? Is this cutscenes? Where's the town? Where's the world map? How is this game even played? I didn't understand. It's so convoluted of a menu system.
Oh,
the game is a menu system.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I let Rob play it because I remembered the combat. I remembered the how you explored the world was so stupid.
Explore the world.
You don't explore the world, really. You walk out of the town, if it's even a town, it's a set of menus, really. you walk out, and then all of a sudden you appear on a square. And
No,
then
like a chess piece appears on the square. I mean,
yeah.
it looks like a little, like a game board piece.
yeah, and then you can either go right or left depending on where it allows you to go. You don't really have a
So yeah, you've got
choice.
like a little tile that would be a section of map and
Yeah.
arrows that tell you which way you can leave.
Yeah. So you just jump to the next one, and that appears, and then the next place that you can go. This is how you explore. And it's like there's nothing. There's no world. There's no cool mountains or anything like that. It's just
No.
these tiles appear, and you're like walking around these tiles, and then all of a sudden a monster will appear. You're like, yes, combat, something exciting. The combat system is so atrocious with that wheel system that's going around.
I
Can you tell me, because I'm so blinded by hate on this game, like, what about the combat system did you hate so much? Like, the limited options?
You know what? There were limited options. It was very clunky. It was not intuitive at all. I
Yeah.
couldn't understand.
It wasn't fun.
How it was supposed to
Wasn't
work.
fun
It
at all.
wasn't fun.
Not
There was
fun
just
at all.
there was nothing to enjoy, and the battle animations weren't even that great either.
They were
I mean,
terrible.
this may as well have been like a Super Nintendo or a PS1 game for the graphical quality and for the
But
dynamic.
that's not the problem. The problem is
It's just broken.
It's like they
Horrible.
started pieces of this game and they lost money. They lost development money while they were working on it. They said, just slap it together, make it work. We'll tell the story through cutscenes and that will link into your world map. And it's just it's terribly conceived. It's a like, if you want to know how not to make a game, play Unlimited Saga, and I don't even want you to see it. It's so, having to capture the footage was really tough.
Look, I'll tell you what,
hated
if you
it.
want to have a better experience than Unlimited Saga, take the money it would cost to buy a copy, go to a bar in the wrong end of town, and pay a toothless biker to kick you in the nuts. That's going to be a better experience, I swear, than playing this. Because it's just so...
It was heartbreaking. I was like, how could you go wrong with like an RPG by Square? On the PS2, I really had them up here in my mind, and then this one took them so far below. I was at this point, there was a little break in the armor. I was like, what's going on over there?
I think we actually drank a 6-pack each that night to try and get over how terrible it was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding. It was that bad. It was that bad.
Yeah, it was bad stuff. So we're over this.
So Squeenix, that's 2. We're watching you. All right, I'll bring up my next one. Speaking of disappointing sequels, Blaster Master 2. Now look, Blaster Master, I've done an episode on it. You've seen it. I love that game. I love that game so much. And when I heard there was a Sega Genesis sequel, 60-bit graphics, Blaster Master? Yes, please. No, thank you. Honestly, it's just. It's just.
Well, did you go and rent it, or did you buy it straight
I
away?
borrowed it off of our good
you
old
borrowed-
friend, Mr. Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Conway. I
Yeah.
borrowed it from him, and we.
Oh, he had it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I put it in, and I was all excited. I cracked a beer, I took a sip, and I started
It's like,
playing.
oh my god, it's a sequel to one of your favorite games of all time.
And you're in the tank, and it's kind of nice. And I mean, the challenge factor was high, and the control was really bad. And I was like, oh yeah, it's still, you can hop out of the tank. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I found the first door, and this is the thing. I always love the fact that you go through the door, Legend of Zelda view, top down. I went through the door, and it was the same view.
Side view?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
just a different part of the level somewhere else.
So they got rid of the overhead. Gone. Oh.
And the control really was atrocious, and the difficulty was way too high.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any of the soul of the first game to me. And it for that, I don't know if it's necessarily because I hate the game or because it was just such a heartbreaking letdown after such a glorious gem on the first round.
Yeah.
But it just broke my... I mean, a game has to be amazing when they won't even give you screenshots on the back. That's a sign that you've got an A+ winner.
Wow.
So really, I mean, the music was all right. The graphics were good. But the level design, none of it felt the same. So it really, I cannot recommend this for anything other
So you
than...
ended up hating it.
Yeah, pretty much. There was nothing
You hate
for
it
me to love.
because you love the original so much, and this was such a disappointing sequel, and you felt like the spit on it.
Yeah, I felt they just slapped me in the face. I felt they were like, we're going to put this name on it. Poof, here, give us money.
Yeah.
Make the same quality.
Thank God you only borrowed it.
Yes, and this one I bought for $2.
Ah, speaking of buying things, I bought this back in the day, and
Uh-oh.
now I didn't grow up with PC gaming. My friend Andrew down the street, he did, and he had all the greatest PC games, and I would go over there and check them all out. I thought it was very cool. So I wanted to have that kind of experience at home as well, and I went out and I bought Might and Magic on the Sega Genesis. The memories come flooding back. 6 mega, battery backup here. Includes giant hint book. Yes, it sure is. It's a giant hint book, all right. Humongous. When I started playing it, I guess in a way I'm used to some of the games I was playing at the time, which were actually good games.
Yeah. Well.
So I put this in, and I make my characters, and I leave town, I leave the room that I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'm going through this 3D world, and it's so choppy and horrible. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm looking at my map, and I'm thinking, man, I'm not a PC gamer. I just don't know what I'm doing here. And I'm playing this game. I put a lot of time into this game. I put hundreds of hours in to try to navigate this world, and it was just so confusing the way the backgrounds popped up. And I'm coming from Phantasy Star 1 on the Sega Master System, which had these 3D dungeons, and you knew where you were going, you could map it out. This was like, I'm walking around, I'm like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah, but like the whole overworld was like
so
that?
this is the town, and then, the whole overworld was like that.
Oh,
But okay,
no.
So navigating the world is very confusing, and I also don't know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. It's very confusing what my main goals are at any given time. But the insult to injury on it is the combat of it. Like, I was used to RPGs where you bite like one of this and two of that, and maybe even 4 or 5 things. This would be like 10 orcs attack. It's like, what? And the thing is it's classic, by the book, boring fucking combat. So I sit there and you like fight this, and it was difficult. In my first battle, all my characters were getting killed. It's like, what is going on here? I had such a hard time getting past the difficulty, getting past the combat that happens every 2 seconds when you're you're walked in and the music haunts me to this day. It's hilarious. This music, and it's just the same looping music over and over and over. And you're in combat for fucking weeks of your life. Weeks of your life. Honestly, in 1 week of playing the game, I was in combat for 3 weeks. Honestly, that's how much I was in combat.
This game is so bad it opened a temporal vortex and broke the laws of time and space.
So,
is what you're saying.
Okay, and then, so after about like a month of playing this game, I'm like, okay, it's time to get serious. I need to figure out what I'm doing with this game.
No, to really put some time in.
Because I bought this game. I wanted to finish it. I wanted to beat it. I wanted to complete it. I went to my local magazine store, and there was like a Sega Genesis hint thing, and it was a thing from Might and Magic to help me through it. And playing that and playing the game and using this thing was even more confusing. I made progress. I was going backwards in time. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I still to this day, this is the most confusing game in my history. I didn't get it. And for anybody who played Might and Magic and got it, good for you. That's fantastic. I'm an idiot. I just don't get it. I never get it, and I don't think I ever will. It's just one of those things. Might and Magic confused the fuck out of me, and it will for the next, 250,000 years that I'm dead. I just don't get it. I never will.
Well, it's the problem was they tried to interface a PC-style game onto a controller that doesn't have a full keyboard and a mouse.
Yeah.
And it's obviously just not going to work.
Yeah. 20 orcs attack. Have fun, buddy, for 5 hours.
Roll the dice, Jim.
Oh, boy. Are we done?
I don't think there's much more hate we can throw out through this camera. I apologize to all our viewers because I'm pretty sure that your faces are starting to look like dried apple dolls from the amount of hate that is just washed over you. But we needed to get that out. It's cathartic. It's good for us.
It is in a way. Like
I feel a weight has lifted.
Well, I feel it's adrenaline now. Now I'm actually angry about it. I'm mad. I'm coming after the developers.
We're gonna go outside and beat up some horses and buffaloes.
And and the spin that we'll put on this is though. You may differ for me that those games, I find them funny. I don't just it's not as blind, unadulterated hate. I fucking hate this shit. I think it's funny. I think it's funny my problems with Might and Magic, all what I tried to deal with for months.
Well, Chris, that you played it for months is a testament to your intent.
Hey, something else? I remember phoning Andrew down the street and saying to him, hey, because he's the PC guy, this is stupid. But I got a little advertisement for like Lotus War, the anime, and I put it on the cartridge. I actually put it on the cartridge, taped it on at the time. But to pretend it was something else, to make myself play it more, that I was actually in this world of Lotus. And I'm like, yeah, I will enjoy this more by... I seriously, and I phoned Andrew and I said, hey, yeah, so I'm pretending it's Lotus War, and I'm kind of getting into it more. I'm doing better with it. And I think, you know, he's like, oh, that's cool. I think he's saying, what a fucking idiot. He was right.
Well, you know, and I agree with you. I mean, nowadays, I look at these games, and I love to laugh at the memory of it, because it's the fact that, yes, I hate them, but it's a fun hate.
Even I laugh at the faster that there's Blastmaster, your most beloved game of your childhood that you would weep over at night.
Yeah.
And then you have all this popcorn, you have this great moment, you're like, yes, the sequel! Yes. And you put it in, and it's so monumentally bad that there's this break within you that just goes, oh, I don't believe in video games anymore.
It's like having your favorite dessert prepared for you. Perfectly. It's sweet and delicious, and it's served on a silver platter, and you dig your fork in, and you take a bite, and then you pull the cockroach out of your mouth. You just... Ugh. And that's what that game did to me.
Yeah, but the problem is you're such a fan of Churli's Cake that you're like, I'll try it again, maybe it won't be so bad.
And there's another cockroach.
Oh, man.
And it's just a cockroach cluster.
Yeah.
You know?
So, anyways, guys, that is some of our fun looking back on games we hate. Oh my god, we're insane about these games we hate, but we thought we'd have a little bit of fun. We've had a great time today. So, anyways, guys, until next time. God, did we do this in one take? That's amazing.
There's gonna be like 2 little bits you gotta pull out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Holy hell.